As they came to the gates, Círdan the shipwright came forth to greet them. Very tall he was, and his beard was long, and he was grey and old, save that his eyes were keen as stars, and he looked at them and bowed. Welcome to Tales of Arda, where we discuss and explore Middle-earth. Today's topic is the great Lord Círdan, the shipwright, bearer of Narnia, and one of the oldest elves left in Middle-earth by the end of the Third Age. Círdan likely awoke in the Bay of Cuvienen in the years of the trees. He was a Teleri and kin to both Elwë and Olwë, the kings of the Teleri. After the arrival of Oromir, some elves decided to travel to Valinor. Among them was Círdan, who was eager to live in Aman. Throughout the journey, many of Círdan's people forewent this journey, but when Elwë, his king, went missing, Círdan loyally searched for him, and so missed the first opportunity to sail to Valinor, on which many Noldor and Vanya went. King Olwë, however, waited for Ulmo to return, but meanwhile he and his elves began building ships, and here Círdan became a renowned shipbuilder. This is actually the moment he takes the name Círdan, meaning shipwright, as before he was known as Nolwë. At the same time, although most of the Teleri had given up, Círdan sought Elwë longer and harder than most of his kin. Because of this, Círdan came to the shores too late, during the second embarking of Eressëa. He came to find them departed, and he saw far off a glimmer of light upon Eressëa as it vanished into the west. But into his heart came a message from the Valar, which warned him that his ship could not endure the voyage, nor would any ships for many years, until the time when his work would be of utmost worth. Círdan answered in obedience and saw a vision of a ship. And so Círdan remained with the Teleri, who had chosen to stay in the east, and became their lord. The folk became known as the Falafrim, the people of the foaming shore, and dwelt. When Morgoth first unleashed his armies on Beleriand in 1497 of the Years of the Trees, Círdan was cut off and unable to come to Thingol's aid. Further, the Falafrim were driven to the very edge of the sea, where they were besieged for many months, until the return of the Noldor, when Fëanor struck Morgoth from the north. The orcs withdrew of the siege of Falas and went northwards to help their armies, but they were destroyed by Celagorm. Later, Círdan attended the Mereth Adeithad with many of his kin, where he swore oaths of friendship with the Noldor. Between Círdan and Finrod Felagund there was a friendship and alliance, and with the aid of the Noldor, the havens of Brythonbar and Eglarest were rebuilt. During the second assault on Hiflim, Círdan aided the Noldor and came timely to the aid of Fingon. The ships of Círdan sailed up the Firth of Drengest in great strength, and then attacked the orcs, giving victory to the elves. After the Nirnaethanoidiad, many fugitives came for shelter in Círdan's havens. The Falafrim mariners attacked the orcs from the sea, but it was only a matter of time before Morgoth attacked. Then came the disastrous fall of the Falas. Though both Brythonbar and Eglarest were strong, with mighty walls, they both fell to Morgoth's armies. Although Círdan's people fought valiantly, the walls were broken and most of the Falafrim were enslaved. Barad Nimras was cast down, and the Falas laid to waste. But Círdan and some of his followers escaped by sea, and he took with him Gil-galad, one of the last princes of the Noldor. They came to the Isle of Balar and found a new refuge. Turgon, receiving the dreadful news, requested that Círdan sent mariners to seek Valinor and the aid of the Valar. Círdan built 7 swift ships and sent them westwards. None returned save only one mariner of Gondolindrum, who was his kinsman. Eventually Círdan received a message from Ulmo for Orodreth, warning of the doom of Nargothrond, and ordering him to shut his gates and cast down the bridge. The warning went unheeded, resulting in the fall of Nargothrond.
The Witch King began to corrupt Rudar until it fell under his control. Then it was Cardolan's turn. After Cardolan was destroyed, the Witch King set his eyes upon Arthedain, the strongest of the three kingdoms. Arvedui, the last king of Arthedain, escaped from Fornost, its capital, and went to the ice bay of Forokel. There Arvedui set off to the Grey Havens in a ship, but the Witch King created a storm that tore the ship apart. In a last and desperate assault, the remaining Dunedain, Gondorians, elves joined forces and defeated the Witch King at Fornost. Angmar was destroyed, but Arnor was also. The Witch King's task was complete. Second on the list is Mordor. Mordor didn't do much of conquering lands, destroying other realms, but it had a massive army under the Dark Lord Sauron. This realm also survived nearly 2 ages, which is the longest of any evil realm of that time. Over years, Sauron corrupted evil men to join him in his fight against Gondor. A lot of Mordor's history is known, so there will be not much on this. Sauron also decided not to only have his army in Mordor, but also in places else. Dol Guldur and Angmar were also under the service of Mordor. Dol Guldur proved useful when Sauron attacked the Lonely Mountain to seek for Smaug. The east was also under Sauron's control. Although Sauron had so much, he was not successful in destroying the Free Peoples. The furthest he got was destroying most of the city of Minas Tirith, killing most of its civilians and soldiers. Before we reveal our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Smaug in the Lonely Mountain. At this time, Smaug was capable of a lot of destructive things that made him dangerous. The orc strongholds in the Misty Mountains. These including Gundabad that led a big force of orcs to the siege of the Lonely Mountain. These were the hardest to destroy after the fall of Sauron. And finally, the Black Númenóreans. Being a powerful race, strong-willed and long-living, the Black Númenóreans always posed a threat to Gondor, and not a minor one as well. In first place, we have Melkor's realm. Melkor was the greatest and most powerful of the Valar and Ainur. In fact, the only being more powerful than him in the whole of Arda was Eru Ilúvatar himself. He built a realm so vast that it engulfed the whole of Beleriand, save only the mouths of Sirion, where the only remaining elves lived. Sauron was defeated by 2 young hobbits and 1 corrupted hobbit. Yet Melkor gained so much power that the Valar themselves had to come and eliminate him. That should prove why Melkor's realm was the strongest and most powerful evil realm in the history of Arda. Thank you for watching today's video. We hope you enjoyed.